All right, I keep saying sorry. Welcome to the Culture Connects podcast. I'm your hostess, Honey, and today I am joined by my special guest, Bishop Cork. Now, me and Bishop Cork have a long history. This has been my friend for over 15 years, y'all. And he's a little crazy, but when I tell you this is one of the most articulate, intelligent gentlemen that I've ever met in my life. If you want to have a real solid conversation with some fruit, with some meat behind it, talk to Marcus. Talk to Bishop, because he gonna get you right. And in a very I don't know, I won't say condescending. It's just that he has a plethora of knowledge. So a lot of times, when he is talking, I think sometimes he be feeling like we all should know these things. And baby, we all don't know these things. Marcus and Bishop, say hi
I
to the
am
guest.
guilty. Hello, everyone. I am guilty of that. I do apologize.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Today's topic is marriage versus relationships. Typically in our culture, they say black women are the least likely to marry. A lot of us get married late, you know, some of us don't get married at all. And if you go on social media, there's you have a bunch of different opinions about this, that, and the third when it comes to relationships and marriage and things of that nature. But it seems like everybody wants love, but me personally, I don't think that people have a honest grip on what love really looks like and how it's supposed to feel.
well,
You know,
I think one of the
could you articulate that a little bit better for me, Bishop?
I think one of the issues with that comes with social media and the media in general. The influence that it has on people, where it's just people are. You have a lot of people who are just plain and simply followers. They see something, it looks nice, and then this is what I want to do because I seen this person do it, and they made it look easy on TV. And what we don't understand, what a lot of people, even adults to this day, don't understand about reality TV is when you watch reality TV, and when the show goes off, they have credits, and in those credits, there are producers or generally writers. And a producer has a job and they have to produce something.
Hmm.
So real life is boring. We were talking the other day about relationships. Real relationships are boring because you can't go out every night if you're trying to build something with somebody. It's impossible. And what we see on social media is we never see the downtime. We never see,
Yes.
oh, they just
Yes.
sitting around not doing anything. Is everybody's always up and doing something. And what a lot of people don't realize, even with those shows, all of that stuff is paid for. Those people don't even have to. They go out, they drink all day and all night. And they ain't paid for nothing that they got. The show pays for everything. If you really want to understand how these reality shows work, go to YouTube and look up Dutch's um, Breakfast Club interview. And when she was done with the show and her NDA was over with, she was able to go on and tell everything. She told how everything that they did on the show was paid for by the show. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they were trying to force her and Caesar to hurry up and get married, to have this destination wedding that they were going to pay for. They paid for her ring. They paid. Just go, just go watch the video, and she tells you everything, so you understand, get an understanding of how reality TV actually works.
There used to be a program on like a show. It was like a series, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they talked about it was like it was the behind this. It was like it was a reality. It wasn't a reality show. It was like a series, but they talked about um the behind the scenes work of those producers for reality shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is such a dirty game because a lot of those producers, what those reality shows, they hire up and coming aspiring producers, people who are aspiring to direct and go on to bigger things. And so now but they have to get their foot in the door. So now they hire these young people, to produce these shows, and they're talking, and it's all about ratings.
Exactly.
So you got these producers stirring the pot and, whispering over here to this person, whispering over here to this person, kicking stuff off. You know what I mean?
Even with that,
Constantly making it some BS.
even behind the scenes, they have everything there for those people to act the way they want them to act. They supply all the alcohol that those people could actually even imagine wanting. And they ain't got to pay for a dime. All you got to do is get drunk and act a fool and run up our
And
ratings.
think about it, you getting drunk already. So you getting drunk. So and then you getting drunk, right? And so now with the alcohol, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm gonna tell you something with me, right? This me person, right? I'm a happy drunk because I'm a happy person, right? But I have noticed this about myself, like I'm happy, I'm drinking, do. But you pissed me off, and now you done brought out gang banging West Side, blue, 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 blue. You know what I'm saying?
Now
Woulda, 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 woulda.
imagine you go to a show and there are producers who are trained
Marcus,
to pick out
Bishop,
people that
you're really low. I can hardly hear you.
is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Imagine you going on to a show that has producers that are trained to find people like that. That that can be all nice and quiet and mild and timid when they're not drunk, but will tear the club up soon as they are drunk.
Yeah. 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 See, and that's the thing, it's the setup. It's the setup.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed, like, I was talking to my younger cousin maybe about a week ago, and we have the same last name. So she got these lips like mine. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And she said she wanted to get lip fillers. Bishop, look at these lips. They don't need no filling. They don't need no filling.
And what's crazy is I won't even get off into that tangent, but the way that social media, the media itself, influences people to do certain things is it. And these are people who stand up in a crowd of people and tell you, I'm independent, I'm my own thinker, I do what I want.
Yeah.
But yet you following every trend that comes along. And I'm talking adults. I'm not even talking kids.
Yes, Bishop. Yes, yes. It is the craziest thing ever. I was, when she said it, I looked and I'm like, girl, you are beautiful. Do not let social media trick you into all these false realities. These are not real people. I said the prettiest pictures are usually under a filter or some type of Photoshop. Do not let these people trick you.
And
It's a trick.
then you go out
It's a
and
trick,
you do all
especially
of
now
this.
with AI, baby. Listen here, you might well go ahead and live your best life.
Then you go out and you do
uh-uh.
all of this, and then no man wants you because now you got all these different alterations. You cool to go around and show off, hey, look what I got. But who gonna settle down with you?
And that's the thing, because even especially with the BBLs, because after you get all that booty, you can't even wear regular clothes
Nope.
anymore.
And they talking about how that stuff stinks.
Oh, see, I ain't never been in close contact with the BBL, so I can't speak.
I
Like you
can't
know what I'm saying?
either, but I done seen enough articles and interviews.
Yeah. And I have talked to a lot of people, and it's pretty much, they say everybody pretty much saying that you-
But what the influence of social media, what that ends up happening is that ends up having males as well as females thinking that life is like that. Like
yeah,
I can get up. It was so interesting to me, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but I sat up and I watched how when I think it was Basketball Wives first came out. At that point in time, I had never seen so many women wear wide brim hats, big sunglasses, drink wine, and carry big handbags. Before then, I can't recall a whole bunch of women getting together to do this. But when
and I
Basketball
am
Wives
guilty.
came out,
Look,
oh, don't get me wrong. I'm I'm
wait,
I'm a I'm a label whore myself. Don't get me wrong.
no,
But
no, it wasn't even about the labels. Let me tell you something. But everything pretty much did have labels, but it wasn't about the labels. It was just that whole recreating that whole look, right?
that whole vibe.
You know what I'm saying? So I got this big wide brim straw hat, and I got them oversized ass sunglasses with the big straw purse to match my straw hat. Couldn't tell me nothing.
Now the crazy
Market
thing about it is,
Bishop, I ain't carried that crap in years. I biggest waste of money ever. I think I took a picture one time, took a picture. Look, the straw hat go on my cruise.
and the crazy thing about it is that stuff was in fashion long before Basketball Wives was around. It's still in fashion. When you go certain places and do certain, but you hear people in the hood running around with wide rim glasses, big rim hats, and big handbags, drinking cheap
Wait,
wine at that.
wait, look. We went on a family trip. Well, it was a family outing, right? Well, I hope nobody in my family watching this. In trouble. Look. So one of my cousins, we went to a water park in Indiana. You hear me? Water park in Indiana. My cousin showed up to this water park.
In
She had that
Indiana.
big floppy hat on. She had them sunglasses on. She had on she had on a full bathing suit. Thank you, Jesus. And then those
With the
see-through
little
pants.
wrap. Okay.
You
The
know them.
see-through.
They got
Okay.
the see-through pants now
Okay. Okay.
that you wear, and they got ruffles down the legs.
Okay.
So now,
It's crazy. I know exact pair of pants she took.
listen, she was cute as hell.
Yeah, but not for Indiana.
Listen, thank you. Listen. Now listen, them kids didn't give zero. You know what I'm saying, baby? It was a good plan, wrong place. Cause nobody cared except for me. I was like, "Girl, you shot." Somebody had to say it. Hype me up. Hype me up.
But that's the whole. Then it's
I
not just.
laughed, baby. Me and look, kids laughed all the way home. Because why?
Did not just
Just why?
not just that influence, but then they also they also get the attitudes that these women have on these shows. First of all, these women ain't even basketball wives. Most
Most
of
of
them,
them are basketball ex-wives,
no, most of them hadn't
ex-girlfriends.
even been married.
Well, I mean, I'm just speaking on like Jackie and
Right.
Shawnee, Jennifer. All y'all literally are basketball
Ex-wives.
ex-wives. And then these young girls, they basketball girlfriends,
Yep.
basketball baby mamas. You know what I
Basketball
mean?
side pieces.
I wasn't gonna say that part. Remember, they ran Drea off the show. That she didn't. She got one season in. They ran her ass up out of there. So you know what I mean. Look, I'm not here to judge.
It,
I
it,
am all
it,
for marriage. I want to be married again too. I think I have found my one. Thank you, Lord. Finally, you know what I'm saying. So I'm very happy and optimistic about life. But I do understand that that is not the case for most of us. Okay, Marcus, I
well,
gotta plug my charge up. Talk.
okay. Well, I think one of the biggest reasons that relationships nowadays is like social media, and it's like um it's like what we were saying with real relationships, it's they're boring.
Yes,
um you when you're trying to build with somebody, that's hard. It's a very difficult thing, because now it comes to it then it comes to a point where, hey, how we used to go out, we don't, we got to cut back on that. If we're gonna do this, that, and the third, we can't do the same things that we've always been doing. We have to do things
yes,
differently, and that takes discipline. And self-discipline is one thing, but discipline with two different people
with two
is
different sets of habits, spending
exactly.
habits, life habits. Yes, yes,
It's
yes,
and one of the issues that I see that we have in relationships is um a lot of females enter relationships with a feminist attitude, whether or not they're feminist or not, because they come in with this, I'm independent, I can do bad all by myself, this whole type of attitude, when we all need each other, but we all have, and this is very offensive to a lot of people, we all have our place.
yeah,
It's easy for women to sit down and tell a man that you're the provider and protector. That's our place. But when it comes time for a man to tell a woman her place, oh, I don't have no place. I do what I want. And that's where we get into this conflict. Even with marriage, entering into a marriage,
yeah,
especially from a biblical standpoint, we have to understand that first and foremost, God is the head of us all. After God comes the father, the physical father, then comes the mother, and then comes the children.
yes, yes,
And one of the things that we have an issue with that is that we think we live in a society now where kids think that their opinion matters, the wife thinks that their opinion matters, and the husband is just sitting somewhere trying to figure out what the hell is going
yep,
on.
yes,
it,
yes,
it when before entering to a marriage, one of the issues that people are having nowadays is nobody does what our grandparents and folks back in the day used to do, talk about courting, which was a time that you got to know the individual that you're dating.
mm-hmm.
And we live in a society now where pretty much
Most of our relationships in America are based off of sex and drugs. If you go 90 days without sex and drugs and really get to know an individual's character, you probably figure out pretty soon that y'all really aren't as compatible as you thought you were.
See, and that's the thing, right? And I'm gonna be totally transparent. I think that for me, that was my downfall.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted the fun guy,
Mm-hmm.
right,
Mm-hmm.
to be a man and a provider.
Mm-hmm.
You see the quote, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't on the man, that was on me.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, I had unrealistic expectation. Okay, because the fun person is usually not the most responsible.
Mm-hmm.
The fun,
That's what makes them fun.
that's what makes them fun because they don't care.
Yep.
You see, and the responsible person, I'm looking at them like, oh, they boring. I'm not gonna have any fun with this situation. This can't be my life.
Yep.
I'm like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. I'm not gonna have any fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But after I grew up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And the fun wasn't fun anymore.
Yep.
You know, and I was sitting up by myself, Miss Independent in her own home with all her own shit. And I'm like, you understand?
I could even speak from my own personal experience. Like you had a good girl, you know, the girl that's gonna stay home, you know, take care of the crib. If she had to work, she'll work. If she don't have to work, she don't have to work. But you know, while you gone to work, you know, you ain't got nothing to worry about. That ain't who you want.
No, because she boring.
You want Sexy Red, you know, come
Right.
in.
I'm gonna perk at the headlights.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then later on in life, now I'm looking like, oh shit, Shorty got her shit together. Like, man.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
got her own crib, you know, she doing it, you know.
Yes. I'm telling you, that was me. I'm my best friend. Like, man, we going through life together. I'm talking about we've been down like 4 flat tires. I just love him to death. But he boring as hell. I don't want him. This is my best friend. Going on. You know what I'm saying? And it took me like almost 10 years to realize, like, man, girl, you looking at your husband, you passing this man back, or you talking about he boring. And I'm having more fun with my boring life.
Yep.
Than I ever had with the fun.
Because the thing, what we fail to realize sometimes, even in the hood, is like we're so used to hood fun.
Yeah, and toxic. We so used to toxicity that when realness steps in, it's hard for us to even digest it. It's hard for us to accept it. It's hard for us to even understand that this person is really coming from a sincere place. This person isn't playing games with you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy how this thing works.
And I think one of the biggest issues with that is we don't take time to learn people's character. Or when we do learn their character, we want to look past it. And you when somebody shows you who they are, you better believe them.
Yes. They ain't lying.
You know, if one thing that they don't lie about is when they tell you one thing, that's something different. But when they show you who they are, you better believe that's who they actually are.
Yeah.
And the issue with that is a lot of times we don't know who people are.
Yeah.
You can go to somebody's birthday party or go around their family, and then you find out who this person actually is because you hearing this story and that story. I know you was like that. You didn't seem like that type of person.
You have to, and you know what, and you and realistically speaking, like you have to deal with a person in all four of the seasons.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
Different seasons change people,
Yep.
different attitudes. Some people find that hard to believe, but when it's cold outside and it gets dark early, the majority of us, we want to buckle down and want to
Mm-hmm.
buckle down with someone.
Yep.
Once the time go forward again, you
think about it. When does everybody get pregnant normally? Fall, winter months.
Yep.
Why? Because you're locked in with somebody.
You laid up. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm saying that to say, like, as women, we have to pay a little bit more attention, focus a little bit more on the characteristics that money can't buy.
Now, I'm gonna show you how women sometimes can be easily tricked, and it's biblical.
Okay, break it down. Come on.
Who did Satan go to convince to eat from the forbidden tree?
He went to Eve.
Exactly. What did he do? Eve had everything under the sun that she could imagine.
Yeah.
But the bad guy, remember the bad guy we just talked about?
Mm-hmm.
The bad guy came along and he dangled something in front of her face. He said, hey, you got all of this, but you can have this too. You don't need it, but you can have it. And what happened? She forsook everything that she had for something she wanted. Now that's the difference between your wants and your needs. You can have somebody providing everything that you need and leave for something that you want, that you don't even need.
See, okay, now here's the thing, though. Okay, and this for men and women.
Mm-hmm.
We all have a vision in our head of who our person looks like, or you know what they sound like,
Our
how they
type.
walk, how they talk, woo, woo, woo.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And usually the person that we get isn't that. You know what I'm saying? The person that's really meant for us, they may not fit into that bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So automatically in our minds, yeah, this person is great, woo, woo, woo. But
it goes back to the Prince Charming mentality.
Mm-hmm.
You want Prince Charming, but guess what? Everybody in the every female in the kingdom wants Prince Charming.
Right.
So Prince Charming has his pick and choose of who he wants. So you have this idea in your head, but does Prince Charming have the picture of you in his head?
Right. But and it goes both ways, because I see that with a lot of men.
Definitely.
They
want the 10.
They want the 10, and they can't even afford a 10. They can't afford a 5. And
even outside of Ford, are you do you have everything that it takes to get a 10? Because most men understand when you're dating a highly attractive woman, unless she is extremely humble, there's a lot that comes along with that. And that's not even monetary wise. That's the whole headache of you having to worry about, is somebody trying to holler at her while she gone away from you, and what is she doing? Why, there's a lot that comes along with men dating women of that quality.
Yes. Well, see, but that's the thing, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, we all have this, everybody have a vision in their head of what their person looks like, feels like, sounds like, and all of this. And we are not giving, we ain't giving.
Here's the thing between men and women, though. We both have a picture of what we want in our head. Men are more willing to accept less sometimes than women are. For instance, a man will holler at a woman that works at McDonald's.
Yeah, if she built like a brick house.
I'm just saying.
If she built like a brick house, if she's super hot, you know what I'm saying?
If she's aesthetically pleasing, yes, a man. But will a woman date an aesthetically pleasing man that works at McDonald's?
Yes.
Most won't.
Hell yeah, because think about it. That man, Marcus, Bishop, check it out. Remember that fine man? That man was fine as hell, and he was
talking about the dude that got out of prison.
Yeah, he was in jail. Somebody posted his bond. One of them Becky's became his lawyer. I be seeing him on Tubi now. I be seeing him on BT Prime. I be seeing him BT Plus. I be seeing him Amazon Prime, and he be ripping the one way. So,
but remember though, we're talking. They would sleep with him.
What, they changed his life? He had a wife. What you talking about?
No, but what I'm saying,
married to a fat white girl.
What I meant to say is women would be more willing to accept him. A man.
Come on, I'll wait.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I'm waiting. It's the same thing. See, if you look good, a man will take your ass broke. One, you know what I'm saying? And a woman will too. If you look good, if you are appealing to their eyes, they are going.
True.
They're going. I don't care what, you know what I'm saying? It takes somebody who is very emotionally mature not to do it. Not to go. It takes somebody, you got to be emotionally mature, emotionally intelligent.
I also have to take into account that women their mentality towards sex is different nowadays than what it used to be. Women more so have a mentality towards sex like men nowadays. They look at sex. You think about it. You have more women nowadays that have a bigger body count than what we're normally used to.
I think women been having big body counts. They just were sneaky pussies. But go ahead.
I won't.
I'm just saying.
I won't argue that point because women are extremely sneaky
pussies, baby. Listen, I talk to my son, baby. Sneaky, baby. Oh, Jesus.
Well, I say they're more blatant. I'll say they're more blatant.
Hold on, brother. Let me put this out there. Sisters, don't come looking for me tomorrow. I stick by the girl code. I ain't telling. I only tell my son because I don't want him to be tricked. Okay. I ain't telling nobody else. I ain't gonna put it out there to Bishop in the world. I'm just letting you know that I know what we all know. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't even know too many women that got one baby daddy, but that's a whole nother show.
That's a whole
Yeah.
nother show.
Uh-huh. So I'm just talking about sneaky pussy. So what I'm saying is women been doing it, and that's why like it's so crazy. Like, men be like, oh yeah, I'm into polyamory and did. Baby, you don't even know she got a whole girlfriend and 3 boyfriends. And when you said polyamory, you just made her motherfucking day.
You've been in that type of relationship, you just don't
The
know it.
whole time. You just didn't know it. Now, look, now she could be herself.
And one of the things I hate about social media and all of that is everybody is everything now because of social media. You pick whatever it is you want. You want to be this. Because I know 2 or 3 folks on social media that is. Now I am too. It's weird because everybody knows about poly and all of this now.
Yeah.
For the internet, people didn't know nothing about that. You had to watch Real Sex on HBO to to know it. But now everybody's doing it. Everybody's poly, everybody's a swinger, everybody's this, everybody's that. You open the door.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Baby, listen. All I'm saying is,
But let me throw these statistics out before we get off the air.
all right.
The divorce rate in the United States is kind of baffling to me. So men and women get divorced at a 42% rate. Men and men get divorced at a 22% rate. Women and women get divorced at a stunning 78%.
Who do?
Women and women.
They get divorced what?
78% of the time.
Damn. And women and men?
Women and men was 42%.
Oh wow.
But what's crazy about it is in America, it's weird and strange to me that it is an incentive for people to get divorced. It's not an incentive to stay married. I mean, yeah, you get your little, I get to write off my W-2s and, stuff like that. But you make more money getting divorced than you do staying married. And
Listen,
it's weird. I
that's why
think that
I
the government.
refuse to be married.
Say that again.
That's why I refuse to get married to just anybody.
Exactly.
Because I'm an African American woman that makes over 6 figures on my tax return.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, in the event of my demise, my husband will not only get Social Security, they will get VA benefits until they die, unless they get remarried. And I'm quite sure at my age, if they had any sense, they wouldn't. Because between just those 2 checks alone, they could retire on their own.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And there's full medical benefits coming with that. And there's no taxes on your primary residence. There's no PMI on your mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So I'm a
Mm-hmm.
whole benefit package in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
So a person that when I get married, you have to be deserving, because like I said, I come with my own. Look, I come with a dowry.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. But now here's the thing, but I'm not that woman to say I don't need a man because I got this, that, and the third. I will never say that. I will always need a man. I don't care if I was a millionaire. I don't care if I was the billionaire, trillionaire, gazillionaire. There are certain things that, as a woman, that I'm not willing to do. I'm not able
Exactly.
to do. I don't want to do. I pee sitting down, and I'm very happy with it. I'm just
Like,
saying, I wear panties. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
think
um,
about this. You laid
I'm
in
not,
bed
I'm
at
not,
night.
I'm not popping my chest out. I don't need no man because I got the money. Baby, I don't care how much money I got. I need some dick around this motherfucker.
E- Even outside of that, you laying in bed at night, you hear something downstairs. Do
Who
you
going
want to
down?
get up, or you want a man to get up and go down there and risk his life to see what the hell's going on?
What you said? Who going down there? Who going down there? I'm just like
But
it just tickles me because a lot of times when I hear that is from younger women
mhm,
who are in their bag. You know
mhm.
what I'm saying? So I hope that I hope that that changes because, like I said,
Well, that goes back to
the
what we were
money.
talking about with character,
Yeah,
and not knowing. This person bought you this, that, and the third, but what do you have to say about their character? Okay, they bought you this, that, and the third, but they treat you like shit. So this the person that treats you like shit is the person that you want to be laid up in bed with and hear somebody downstairs, and then next thing you know, this motherfucker looking at you like, you want me to
you
go
know
down
what's
there? Or you
funny?
gonna go down there?
Yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, I'm man, listen here. Ladies, if you listen, the fun guy ain't that. Let
I
fun guy
mean,
go.
the thing is this: the fun guy is the fun guy when you're that age to be having that type of fun.
Okay.
There is a time and a place for everything. When you're in high
So
school, have fun with the
so
fun guy.
when should the fun what age should the fun stop and
I'm not gonna tell you.
serious?
I'm because that I would say that's a personal thing because
Uh-huh.
we all mature at our own rate.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, here in the United States, we kind of handicap our children because we don't let our children be adults until 21. Where around the world, most cultures, you enter adulthood at around 13, 14 years of age.
definitely by
Um,
16 in majority of
exactly.
the countries. By the age of
Yeah.
16, you are an
You've
adult,
reached some
you get
adulthood. Yeah.
married, you're out you're out of you're out of high school,
Yep.
you're ready for college at the age of
Yep.
16 in most countries.
Yep.
The US is so behind on so
Yep.
many different things. And when you talk to people who have not left the country, it's hard for you to articulate to them. But
Mm-hmm.
man, we are so behind. They can't drink until they're 21, but they're an adult at 18. So I can commit a crime at 18 and go to jail for the rest of my life, but I can't have a cocktail.
Right.
It's such a the math ain't math. You know what I'm saying? It just isn't. But the
Yep.
topic is marriage versus relationships. Why do you think that people are choosing being in relationships and situationships today versus actually buckling down and getting married?
Because at this stage, most people are basically married. They just don't know it. Because, and again, we're going from I'm coming from a biblical standpoint.
Okay.
Even in the Bible, if you slept with a woman, you had to marry her.
Mm-hmm.
So even in the South, we used to hear about shotgun weddings. Why? You got a woman pregnant. Guess what? You was gonna marry that woman. So what ends up happening now is we have all the benefits of marriage. We having sex, we having kids, we live together. all of that. That's all marriage. So now we have people who say that marriage is nothing but a piece of paper. But guess what? You have a diploma. What is that printed on? Piece of paper. If you go to college for 20 years and get your master's, guess what? It's printed on a piece of paper. A dollar, a $5 bill, a $20 bill, a $100 bill, all what? Printed on a piece of paper. So
Yes.
these papers are important papers.
Yes.
But what ends up happening now is everybody's doing everything that married people are doing. You're going on vacations, you're going on family trips. So
Yeah.
what is the point of getting married when all you're basically getting is a piece of paper?
That's it.
You know, in situations like with meeting somebody like you, or somebody that has something to be left when they leave, that's different. There ain't a whole lot of folks like that in America right now. Just with our economy, just being upfront and honest, there's not a whole lot of folks like that. So it's a different situation. But most folks in America we're just sleeping around.
But even with my situation, like I said, like I want to be married, but I know that you have to be real special. You got to be real special. You know what I'm saying? Because just because of the way that my life set up, and and I don't mean that in a bad way, because I thank God for allowing me to be able to secure myself. Right? I thank God for that. I sleep good at night, but at the same time, I also am a Christian woman. I'm a woman of faith, and I'm a human being, and I want to be married again.
Now,
So,
what I would suggest is do a study on marriage, Christian marriage, so that you know what to expect and what not to expect. Because there are a lot of things, and I really won't have time to go into it now, but there are a lot of things in marriage that especially a woman needs to understand. Because the way we think, we're taught to think in America is that we're all open-minded. Everybody opinion matters. You know, I have to be heard. And that's the thing about picking a good partner. When you pick a good partner, it's like picking a good spades partner. When you pick a good spades partner, you don't have to talk all the damn time.
Yeah,
You
just
know what they're gonna do, and they know what you gonna do, and you know how to play off them, and they know how to play off you.
Yeah, yeah. But see, that comes with time and
It
cultivation.
definitely does.
And a lot of times, us women and men, we don't have no staying power. And just like what you said, we'll leave what we need for what we want.
It's like even what you said with time. You think about it. You think about all the people that you know that every time they meet somebody, that's their husband, that's their wife. That you don't even know this. You don't even know this individual last name, and that's your husband. That's your wife. It takes time, and even when you get married, even talking to some of the people that I know in church that have been married, people have been married 20, 30 years, and they're still learning things about their spouse, because guess what? They're still learning things about themselves. We all change. Sometimes we look up and be like, well, damn, I did that. I said that.
Yeah. Had it what? Huh? Yeah, yeah.
So, we all change, and we're supposed to change.
Yeah,
We're supposed to change for the better. I'll say that, because people do change, but it's not always a good change.
that part. That part. But but the hope is, like you said, just learning, growing from experience. See, I've been married before, and I come from a two-parent household. My parents were married. And so I know what it looks like. I know what it feels like. And I know when I did the first time, I had unrealistic expectations. And that was the demise. Today, I don't have those unrealistic expectations. And the submission, it's so crazy how a person can treat you so good that the submission is automatic, and that's not a dollar amount on that.
It's not. It's
How a
not.
person treats you is not based on how much money a person spends on you. Um, it's about the consideration, the care, the concern. You know what I mean? Someone, what you eat today? Did you eat? You good? You okay? How you feeling? How your mental health? You know what I'm saying? Like those things. Those things
It,
matter.
it one thing that I think a lot of females need to understand about men is that men are hunters gatherers, and in order to be a hunter, you have to use certain tools to get the prey that you're hunting. So a lot of times what men will do is they'll open up with money. Why? I need to see if you're thirsty. So if you take this and I find out you're thirsty, that's all I'm gonna keep feeding you, because I see where your mentality is. You're really not looking for somebody to be nice to you. Because
You're looking
then
for a
guess what?
sponsor.
You're looking for a sponsor. Because guess what? Now I'm gonna treat you like shit, but I can get you this little nicks and knacks and this, that, and the third because I know you're thirsty and I know you'll go for it.
Yeah.
As opposed to getting to learn somebody's character and figuring out, well, this guy's an asshole. I'm glad he ain't never gave me nothing. I don't owe him anything. This,
Yes.
that, and the
Yes.
third, And
Yes.
even with men, a guy was watching something online somewhere, and the guy made a statement that made perfect sense. When we're dating, men are paying for experiments that may or may not work. With that being said, men, why would we go out and spend $200, $300, $400 on a first date, first or second date? You don't even know if you're gonna like this lady or not. You don't even know if she's
I
gonna
know
like
some
you.
guys that did that. Like, I refused. Okay, for me on some personal stuff. Like, I'm out the market now, but when I was dating, our first date will not be at a 5-star restaurant.
Right.
I'm not gonna even let you do that. I personally am not. I don't want to go to Ruth Chris. I don't want to go to Maestro's. I don't want. I don't want. I don't want to go to Morning Steak. I don't want to go.
Because if I
I don't
start off there, where in the hell do I go once I figure out I like you?
See, for me, this just my stuff because I understand that men a lot of times with me, like a men be wanting to impress me. And that's cool. But I know me, I'm funny acting as hell. You know what I'm saying? I like a home cooked meal. You know what I'm saying? So if you can cook, we can bypass all that. Feed me, you know. But if you can't, you want to take me out, that's fine. But we ain't going to that. We're not doing that. I'm not going to let you spend more than $100, $150 on our first. I refuse, because what I'm not going to have you do, if I decide after this day that I don't like you, I'm not going to have you make me feel bad about your champagne campaign
Right.
that failed.
Right.
Because I used to do that. Wherever they offer to take me on the first date, I'm going. So that's how I went to Ruth Chris and Morton's and those different places, Joe's and Shaw's, because some man was trying to impress me, right? And a lot of times when they had to do all that, it was because they was lacking in another area.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And they was trying to distract me.
And a lot of times that area is their character.
Yeah. So they were trying to distract me with the champagne campaign. And when it didn't work, now I'm being cursed out.
Yep.
I'm all type of bitches, gold digging assholes. Yep. I didn't even ask to go there in the first place. What you talking about? Do you understand what I'm saying?
They ask you to take you out, then they take you to these places, and then things don't go the way that they want, then you a bitch for it.
Yes. So After that happened more than once, more than twice, after the third time, I said, you know what? Anybody want to take me on the first day? We going somewhere basic, and I fuck around and pay for it because I can't.
Just for insurance purposes.
I can't. You know what I'm saying? So the good thing is I'm a sports fan and I like chicken. So we can meet at Hooters, Buffalo Wild
It
Wings,
is.
some type of sports bar, get us some wings, watch some sports, talk and see how the chemistry goes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're both laid back. We ain't super dressed up and then in them type of establishments. So we're able to maybe pull back a layer from the mask anyway. You understand what I'm saying? Because we're both on our best behavior. You know what I'm saying? And I want you to like me, you want me to like you, you know, all of that stuff. So, you know, like I said, for me, I just try to create an environment that's a lot more laid back so that we both can get a little comfortable and maybe I can get a glimpse of who you really are.
Now, earlier, I made a statement about Eve. Now, let me go and show you how powerful women can be.
Okay.
Especially when we follow the natural order, when the natural order of things are followed. So you remember the story of the wedding in the Bible, where Jesus went to the wedding and changed water to wine?
Okay. Yes. Yes.
So at that, when Mary came to Jesus and told him to change the water to wine, Jesus told her that it was not time for him to start doing miracles yet. He hadn't done any miracles. So it wasn't time for him to start doing his father's work in that aspect. So what he first had to do was to get clearance from God the Father. Once he got clearance from God the Father, they then sped up the time based off of Mary's faith in her son Jesus being the Messiah. They sped up the time for Jesus to start performing miracles, and they then allowed him, God the Father allowed him to change water to wine based off of Mary's faithfulness and her belief in her son. And because things were done in their natural order, the gospels were then began to be fulfilled.
Yeah.
So there is a blessing when we follow the natural order of things.
Yeah. Yeah, and they say he who finds the wife finds the good thing
Good
and
thing.
finds faith in the Lord.
Yep.
You know. So, hey. Well, all right, Marcus, I thank you so much, so much, so much. I really appreciate you for joining me tonight. This was a beautiful show. Thank all of you guys for joining us. Please like, share, and subscribe to the Culture Connects podcast. You can view me for free on YouTube. Facebook, it streams live only to my subscribers. So if you want to see me on Facebook, you guys, please subscribe.
Subscribe, y'all.
Subscribe, y'all. Marcus,
Yes.
Bishop, do you have any final words for the audience?
I'm just happy to be here. Invite me back.
Oh, yes. We have some more topics because, baby, I got you now. I got them, y'all. I got them. Yeah. You know, it is crazy.
Hey, I say this.
Last season. Go ahead, Marcus.
I say that if y'all really want to see a really funny interview with this whole thing with Marvin Sapp just happening, go to Vlad TV on YouTube. they embarrassed the mess out of this man. They fronted him off because he called in to get interviewed. And if you look at the look on his face, the first couple of seconds while they're opening up this interview is absolute gold. Go check it out.
Priceless. Thank you for tuning in to the Culture Connects podcast. This is your hostess with the mostest, Honey. Thank you for joining me, and tune in next time.
Thank you for watching the Culture Connects podcast. Please join us next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I am your hostess, Honey, and this is an Aisha Sisters production.